I read a long time ago a novel called The Party by a German writer whom I cannot now remember his name. And it was a scene in which Goering was looked upon as someone endearing to the German people, and there was this German officer who was anti-Nazi who couldn't help be sort of like seduced. And I thought that was a bunch of stuff. And 10 years went by, and suddenly something reminded me of that. And I went to the library. I was teaching at Columbia, and I got down the transcripts of the trial. And I read, Goering was on the stand for 8 days, and it's a novel length. And I have to admit that I read it spellbound, because, of course, it was totally from the other side. I mean, here's the devil talking, and he's making a lot of sense. So then I began to try to find out what I didn't know. The nice thing about being a playwright is that you don't have to worry about what everybody else knows, or what, you just go ahead and find out what it is you don't know, which is always, of course, a great deal, and it's all fresh, it's all new. So I began to read a great deal about World War II, and to read especially about relationships with the Germans and how things came about, and so on and so forth. And I found Goering to be a very interesting character. Certainly of all the Nazis, as repellent and horrible as he was the least odious in a way, because there were some good qualities to him. And at the Nuremberg trial, you found yourself, as you read, and then you read other books to counterbalance his testimony, which was, of course, one-sided for trying to save his own life, you found out that Goering was courageous, he was witty, he did not hide behind Hitler. He said, I'm responsible for everything I did. Speer, he was furious at Speer, because Speer said, I was under the spell of Hitler and I was a technician and so forth, and Goering would have none of that. He accused the tribunal of doing something illegal, that it's the vanquished being tried by the victor, and he made some points that are very interesting. There will be no more nations after a while. Everything will be tribal. He pretty well foresaw some of that stuff. Or at least he got me to thinking about it 10 years. This is 10 years ago when I wrote this play, a little more than that now. So I thought, well, maybe I could write something about this. And I found out that there was a lawyer that Goering was just appointed. He just picked the guy out of a hat. And he was an older man and a civil lawyer, not a trial lawyer, whom Goering liked, and they put up a pretty good defense. The interesting thing is, of course, that at the end of it all, Goering escaped hanging. Somebody gave him one of these pills that they all had taken away from them when they were first incarcerated, and it is impossible that Goering could have kept it during the time that he was there. It was too long. So somebody gave it to him. Who? It's a mystery. There's some people, there are books about this person, books about that person. Very, very hard to figure out who, in fact, impossible to figure out who did this.